Hey guys, it's your boy here, Good Citizen News. I hope y'all are having a great day today. So in today's video, we have the body camera footage from the Social Security Administration where I got arrested for criminal trespassing. Guys, this is absolutely insane. In the beginning of the video, you're going to hear them say, "We don't want him here." FPS said if you can remove him for anything. Not that I was breaking the law, but they just didn't want me in there, and so they wanted me escorted out for anything. Guys, absolute tyranny here. You can film inside of a Social Security Administration. It's not illegal. Guys, I hope you enjoy the video. Stay tuned. Remember to like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think of the video. And also, guys, links to the original video will be in the description below. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Good, how are you?
Good. So one of the First Amendment auditors here.
Where are they at?
Right down the hall, window 10. Management asked him to leave. He refused to leave. He said he knows his rights and all that kind of stuff. None of them got to be on YouTube. Yeah, so I called FPS, the detective service. They said the cop Pasadena got him escorted out if you guys can. You don't want him in here. So whatever, if you can get him off for anything, get him out of here.
All right. You ready?
And he got 3 cameras recording, so they're going to be able to.
Oh, good. I got cameras too.
Right down the hall, window 10, Houston, sitting down. What's going on? Pretty good. How about yourself? I wish these employees here would do their jobs. Employees?
What do you want them to do?
Do their jobs.
And what is that?
Serve the public.
In what capacity?
They're not doing their jobs. How is it they're not doing their jobs though? They're serving. They're not serving anybody. They're just close all the windows. Okay, what's their job here is to protect this place and take care of the Social Security office. That's who they work for. So, I mean, who else do you want them to protect? I don't need them to protect anybody. I need them to do their jobs. Well, are you talking about these guys or the employees back here? Well, that's what you're complaining on them, right? No, I'm not complaining about them. I'm complaining about the employees at the Social Security Administration. Okay, and what do you want them to do? I want them to do their jobs. All right. Why don't you just go apply to come work? Maybe you can kind of help them out.
So the windows that he's talking about, are they for people that coming in for some type of service or something?
Yeah, they're, they got sensitive documents out and everything like this, so.
It's just like personal information is what the issue.
Yeah.
It being exposed.
Right, so they just went ahead and closed off.
So how close was he to the windows?
He's pretty close, he was going up and down the house. To be honest.
We do have a sign in the front to say no photography, this and that, but there's another sign back here, so we do have a sign saying that they can't come in, they can't record or
Okay, so that's the lobby over there.
That's the lobby.
So whenever somebody gets called, they come back over here to this area over here.
So he had really no reason to be back here at all, because he's gonna get called.
Well, I'm not saying that they're not doing their jobs, but they need to understand that this is
not allowed, it's just a window.
They said FPS was coming. As I understand it, y'all don't have jurisdiction on federal property.
Why don't you just go? Why haven't you applied to come work? Maybe you can kind of help them out. They might be short-handed.
I don't want to work here. I make more money doing this.
Okay. Well, then how you complain? Maybe they're short-handed, right?
No, they just close their videos, but they just close their windows because they don't like them taking video.
Okay. And if they're maybe they're short-handed, so maybe they're backed up, and maybe you doing this causing somewhat of commotion might be even slowing them down. So people who probably do need help can't get it because now their window's got to be shut down because obviously they don't want you here.
That doesn't matter what they want. It's public property.
Okay.
Yeah, go look at that sign on the wall like I showed them.
Oh, here's
What I'm doing is completely legal. So
okay. Well, unfortunately, they don't really want you here, though.
that's a goddamn misfortunate problem.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay. Well, with them obviously not wanting you to be here, all right, is there a reason why you don't want to leave? Is there a reason why you don't?
When I'm done conducting my business, when
Which
you
is?
educate them, telling them that I'm legally allowed to do this as a First Amendment Constitution protected activity, get to gather content for a story, then yeah, sure.
What
I'll
content are
be-
you gathering?
Yeah, I'm gathering whatever I want to gather.
Okay. Well,
For public
I mean, like I
dissemination.
said, you keep saying people are not doing their job, right? So they're over here trying to do their job and have you removed.
Well, I'm not saying that they're not doing their jobs.
Okay.
But they
And then
need to
the Social
understand
Security
that
office
this
and
is,
stuff.
this is federal property.
Mhm.
They said FPS was coming. As I understand it, y'all don't have jurisdiction on federal property. So what are you doing here other than talking to me?
Okay.
What's
Well,
your
here-
purpose here?
Well, obviously my purpose here, right?
What's your name and badge number,
Yep, Perkins, and it's 5203.
please?
Officer Jenkins.
Oh, cool. Do you think you should have PT standards to be a police officer? Do you think you could chase down a suspect for a mile?
Yeah. You want to race?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
That's funny. All
What's
right.
yours?
What's that?
Your name and badge number?
Montreal, 4679.
So like I said, obviously, us having to be here, having to do with you, right? So you're asking what my business is here, right? We're here in the city of Pasadena. I work for the city of Pasadena.
Yes.
And right here, even though this is, you can say a federal building, right? It's still in Pasadena, right? So what I'm doing
It's
is,
a part of the federal government. So would you
Well-
say, so if you worked in DC, right, Washington DC,
Mhm.
it's its own little,
Mhm.
territory.
right?
If you were a DC officer, you think you have jurisdiction in the White House?
No,
No.
you
It's
don't.
federal property.
Right, but
Yeah.
that's because they have their own department as well.
Yes,
DC,
they have
like, yeah.
They have
You
the
have
Department
Secret
of
Service and you have
Homeland Security.
you have Secret Service and Secret Service
Yeah, the Department
Police.
of Homeland Security runs all that. It runs the Federal Protective Service, which is a branch off of the,
For Secret Service?
yes.
That's Department of Transportation, actually.
What's your goal?
So you're wrong there.
Is that what you want? You want HSI to come out, or you want Federal Protective
They
Service to
obviously
come
didn't
out?
come out. They called y'all because they said FPS was on the way. They
Right.
didn't say Pasadena Police Department. They said FPS. So I was waiting on FPS. Because it says right there on the wall, I'm legally allowed to do this. I can even show you where it says it, if you would like me to do so, and educate you a little bit. And then you can say, well, there's nothing we can do. He's not breaking the law in any sort of way. Just deal with it. I mean, that's what you can do.
All right, cool. Why don't you show us, and if you
Sure.
want, you can also leave if you want to.
Oh, I'm not going to leave. Thank you.
Because at that point, you made your point clear, right? So there's no point
No,
anymore.
but my point is to be here and finish conducting my business and my story. But right here, it says photographs for news, advertising, or commercial purposes, okay? There is section A, section B, and section C is the only one that applies, okay? You can read through the whole thing if you want. But section A is for non-commercial purposes, section B is for commercial purposes, and section C is for news purposes. Commercial purposes, or non-commercial purposes, and commercial purposes need consent, okay?
Okay.
And that's what that signs on the door says, you need consent to video in here. For news purposes, I don't need consent. I can gather content for my story, unrestricted, except I can't go into like the non-public area.
How are you identified as a news source?
Well, right now you got about 133 people watching live on the internet, so.
Okay, right, but the casual observer, how are they going to identify you as being the press? Do you have any identification that identifies you as the press?
Is there an
So
administration?
you can validate that you are following those rules?
Yeah, any person with a camera phone that has an audience to disseminate a message to is press.
But I don't know that.
Well, here, I got a pocket constitution for you. Look it up on page 23. It's the first amendment of the United States Constitution. It's
No,
freedom of press.
I've got a constitution.
You sure?
Yes.
You don't seem to understand it.
We're not arguing the merits of the Constitution.
Yes, we are.
We're-
That's what this is.
We're discussing being able to identify you as somebody that is following the rules.
Okay, hold on. Just to show you and the people watching at home. Page 23. I said that. Right here.
What is your name, sir?
I don't give my name. Not breaking a law. Here. Page 23. First Amendment of the United States Constitution says we have freedom of speech,
Yes.
freedom of press, freedom of religion. There is no administration. This is my press credentials. Right here. This is my press pass.
Did you serve your country in any nature at all?
I'm doing it right now.
You've put yourself in harm's
I put
way to
myself in
protect
harm's
that
way
very
every day.
book
I
right
put
there.
I put myself in
And
harm's
how
way
are you doing that by
fighting for these rights.
antagonizing law enforcement, antagonizing people that are trying to conduct
I'm
business?
not
with you?
antagonizing anybody.
If we're here, obviously somebody is concerned.
Their butts are hurting. Maybe they should get some preparation.
Why are their butts hurting?
They just don't like the cameras, and that's not my.
Why would they not like the cameras?
Because that's not my problem. I don't know. I don't have a problem with the camera. You
So
come
you
in
don't
on
mind,
doing business,
you
I
don't,
don't care.
you don't mind causing people discomfort and causing a distraction and causing chaos for the
I'm
sake
not
of
causing
what?
chaos, I'm not causing.
Why are we here then?
Because people's feelings are hurt. You're not feelings enforcement, you're law enforcement. And as a federal law, this is federal law, I am not breaking any. So you should just tell the people, say, hey, look, there's nothing we can do. I'm
Do
sorry
you-
you're feeling upset.
Do you
Can't
have,
anything
do
about
you
it.
have friends and relatives?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
everybody does.
If they are at your house and they are starting to cause some sort of a disruption, do you not ask them to leave?
That's on private property.
I'm
No.
talking relationship wise here, human relationship.
The human relationship.
So it's
has no-
okay, you feel that you're right to cause problems and discomfort for other people.
I'm not causing any problem. Well, okay, I don't care.
Again, we wouldn't be here unless somebody called with concern.
I don't care. I really don't care. I'm too much.
So you don't care.
I'm to the point in my life.
You're apathetic. But yet you're trying to propose yourself as being somebody that is
I'm neutral on
supporting.
the subject. I'm neutral. I don't care. It's none of my business. Whether they feel hurt or upset or whatever.
Do you have FPS coming?
I called them.
Cool. Maybe they'll educate you. Maybe you should go look up the DHS memo from 2018. That's it's actually from 2010. It was unredacted in 2018, released to the general public. It says that you can do this. It's the same thing this says, just in a more laid
I'm just trying to understand why you are doing this. What's the benefit to the
gathering
public?
content.
What's the purpose? I mean, what purpose
Yeah,
does it
what's the
serve?
I
benefit to
can't
the,
discuss that.
so do you have no real valid reason if
It's-
you can't discuss it?
I'm a journalist. I'm gathering content for a story. Do you go to KHOU 11 News and ask them what the hell they're doing?
Yes,
what
I
their
did.
stories? You ask them what their stories
If
are.
they show up on one of our scenes, yes, I will ask them what that story's
And they
about.
don't have to divulge it to you.
No, but more often than not, they will, because that's the open communications in which we have with them.
Yeah, that's with them.
And
I'm
I am
different.
more than willing to have
I'm different.
open dialogue.
I'm different.
But you don't want to have that open dialogue. You
I
want it
don't-
to be,
I don't care. I'm not doing anything wrong, so.
Hello?
I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong. Because somebody is.
Okay. Yes, sir.
If you feel uncomfortable somewhere, and you call us, guess what, I'm gonna come.
Yeah, I know.
Whether it's an actual criminal offense or not,
Okay.
Call for service.
and that's why
And
I'm.
there's nothing
Okay.
going on. There's nothing nefarious. There's no criminal activity going on.
Okay.
So your job
So
is done.
it seems like he's not willing to listen to us. He's requesting someone from your agency to come out and talk to him. I don't know, would you be able to talk to him over the phone? I doubt that he'd be willing to talk over the phone, but we can give him an opportunity to do that. Yeah,
You see
I
how
got you.
it just doesn't, it doesn't lend itself, I know.
So do you think you wouldn't talk to him over the phone? I mean, I don't know how good that would work out.
That's for his name and badge number, his name and badge number. But you refuse to identify
Okay.
yourself.
All right,
Why is that?
let me see, hold on.
Okay, then why should I have to identify myself? Because I'm a public servant, okay? I'm out here serving the public, and the public is upset that you're here taking pictures. Some people don't want their pictures taken.
Call the ambulance. That's what we call the ambulance.
Some people don't want their pictures taken. So if I followed you around with a camera all day, you'd be cool with that? Yes or no?
I don't have an issue with cameras.
Okay.
Jinx, come here for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. So apparently, this agent is claiming that he's the only one in the Houston area, and he won't be able to make it out here. So he's saying that he can talk to him over the phone. I don't know if he'd be willing to talk to him over the phone, but that he would be.
Okay,
Maybe do that.
we'll try that, yeah.
So, okay, he's on the line right now.
All right, hey.
All right, we're
agent
gonna
would
find
like
out
to
right
Speak with you on the phone?
You there?
Okay.
Okay.
Last name Fernandez, come back to Windows 3. Last name Fernandez, come back to Windows 3.
Trying to see if I can put you on speaker. Are you on speaker? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. You wanna hold the phone? Sure.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
How's it going?
Hey, it's going okay. What seems to be the problem, sir?
Well, these officers here and the security officers here don't understand that people are allowed to gather content for news stories in the building. They just don't understand that. I'd like to educate them on it.
is that you can do that in the lobby area for, for public access, but you can't go by the interview windows because of Personal Information Act.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's the actual thing, but what it says right here, in federal law, correct me if I'm wrong, it says, for news purposes, you can take video in building entrances, lobbies, foyers, corridors, or auditorium for news purposes. It doesn't say anything about,
On your news report,
Yes, as I said, I'm gathering content for a story.
you have identification and support that you're a news.
Yeah, I've got the First Amendment of the United States Constitution that says everybody has freedom of press in this country.
So you're not the press.
I am the press. I am gathering content. I actually got 200 people watching right now, live, on the internet. So I actually currently disseminating a news story.
Okay, but are you filming folks at the window? Because you cannot do that.
I'm taking video in public, and as I said, there's no expectation of privacy in public.
It's not a problem with you filming in the public areas, but at the
Pasadena, Fernandez, come to window 3. Leslie Fernandez,
There's nothing
come to
saying it's not
window
public.
3.
It's wherever the general public is allowed. I am allowed to
Let
be.
me put it this way. If you get interviewed by a SSA rep, would you want somebody to know your information?
They could put doors up. They could put curtains
You want
up.
somebody to know your information.
It doesn't matter. I can hear it if I'm sitting in the window next door.
Yeah, but you can't.
I can write it down.
You can't.
What if
you can't
I can do this? It's completely allowed and legal for me to do it. What's your name so I know I'm speaking with?
You cannot do that, sir.
I am legally allowed to do this. You need to educate your employees.
You've been here before.
But honestly, like the type of behavior that he's exhibiting is almost a
Well, and he's trying to instigate something. He's trying to stir the pot. He wants to get a reaction so he can get his views up. And I'm not willing to afford that, but in the same respect.
He's literally, they're interviewing right here, and his camera is right behind the comment.
Yeah, that's not right.
So that's why I asked all my employees, like, close your windows.
Sorry, it's really small.
I mean, and as a matter of fact, if I have to close the office for the day, that's what I'll do.
Okay. And what we can do is we can make sure that he captures that information that the office is being closed for the day because this gentleman refuses to respect people's privacy rights.
Yeah. I just don't want them to feel uncomfortable with some videos.
Okay.
But if there's somebody in the shop, I'm not going to because they're not there and somebody else is in the shop.
How many people are going to be disappointed out here when they close this office today?
I support you guys.
Thank you, sir.
You have all this bullshit.
1, 2. Easy 50 people are going to be disappointed when this office gets closed.
Oh, y'all heard the sign agreement. Okay. The federal law. If you'd like me to read you the CFR code, I can.
Okay.
It's Title 14. It says Part 102-74, Subpart C. That's what's on the top of the page, okay? And then if you go to photographs for news advertising or commercial purposes, the specific code is right here on it's really small print. 41 CFR 102-74 420.
So let me ask you this. Are you filming or are you listening to folks' information or not?
I'm gathering anything that I can see in public. I'm not here for people. I'm here to make sure that I'm here to report the employees. But if there's somebody in the shop, I'm not going to not report the employee because they're not there and somebody else is in the shop.
How many people are going to be disappointed out here when they close this office today?
I mean, it says that I can do it right here. It's right to the CFR code. There's nothing illegal that I'm doing. I'm conducting my business in a very nice manner. I was actually sat down and was waiting for somebody from SBS to come out here. but they called the local police department, which has no jurisdiction on federal property, so. I don't know if there's, there's a signed agreement with them, huh?
I made it.
Okay.
There's 50 people that are gonna be disappointed when this office closes. She's gonna close the office. She can't jeopardize people's privacy rights.
All right, well, I'll let you have Officer Montreal, Arre.
Yes, without the T.
Okay.
That's what our option is at this point.
Let me get you off. Let me get you off speaker.
Yeah.
Okay, look, looks like what it's gonna be coming down to is, I guess the office probably gonna be closing down for the afternoon.
Right.
Well, let me get you off phone speaker.
Give somebody my private information, just like HIPAA information.
Okay, hello, can you hear me?
There's an expectation.
Okay, yeah, it seems like that's probably what's gonna end up happening. Closing the lobby for the afternoon because this guy's being stubborn.
By you filming around the corners behind people and stuff like that, that puts people at unease. I wouldn't want you filming behind me when
Okay,
I'm talking
yeah,
about
we're gonna
my
see,
private information.
I know that's probably gonna be an option, but we'll see here in a sec. Okay, all right.
Why would you do that? That's a nefarious act. Yeah, that's nefarious. I'm doing it.
Okay, so y'all are they're gonna close down the office because I'm taking video in public, which is legally allowed?
Here's the problem. You're infringing on people's expectation of privacy.
There's no expectation of privacy in public.
When
Cats v. US.
When I give somebody my private information, just like HIPAA information,
That's for
there's
doctors.
there's an expectation that when I have these private conversations with an SSA employee, that information's not going to be available for the world. By you filming around the corners behind people and stuff like that, that puts people at unease. I wouldn't want you filming behind me when I'm talking about my private information.
So if I sat and hid myself in the corner and listened.
Why would you do that though? That's nefarious act.
Yeah, that's nefarious. I'm doing it openly. I'm not saying I did. I'm saying
Why are you doing it openly?
because I can. It's legally allowed to do.
Just because you can do something doesn't mean it's right.
Okay, so just because you can arrest somebody doesn't mean it's right either.
Probably step outside for a second.
Okay.
Step outside. Pause.
Alright guys, the name at the top of the phone screen is Drew Greer. That's who Officer Jinx is calling and is about to text message several pictures of me here in a second. Alright guys, the guy he's sending pictures of me to is a gang intelligence officer. And this is his contact information right here from the Pasadena website.
No longer muted.
I am now.
Now, is there any way that you guys can tell him that we want him to leave?
Yeah.
It has to be somebody in charge.
For here?
That's my cell phone number.
Well, you need a number for here, so it doesn't become public record.
This is the importance of combing through every inch of video.
And they blow up your cell phone.
931-8365.
And it's SHELO1?
Correct.
And then ROBINSON?
Right.
What?
And then you record.
Stop recording.
Stop recording when I got it. Write it down here?
Yeah, right down the and then date of birth.
We'll carry this address as the
Home address.
home address for you, and then
And then Paragon Systems.
all right, your back seat's open, Perkins.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pull the car up around now, because I'm blocked there, so it'll be easier if I pull it up around that car.
Okay.
Hey, sir, what time did he come into y'all's building?
Recording.
So whenever he came in, did he immediately come in recording, or did he set up in the lobby?
Well, I didn't see him when he came in, but the manager came and told me that he was in the lobby, because I had walked to the back. So when I walked to the back, he was already down.
He already had made his way down this wing over here.
And by the time the manager notified me, I notified my supervisor.
I will. Bye.
Around 2 o'clock, so he came in around like 1:50-ish.
Okay.
Around 1:50, somewhere around that time.
So you're the one that saw him back here in
Our
this corridor?
employees alerted us.
Notified it.
Yeah,
notified
said
y'all.
that somebody, because they know, like somebody's not supposed to be videotaping.
So he was reported videotaping down that corridor, right there, the interview windows.
Actually, he was at window 33.
Yeah, he went out.
But it's still the same thing, though,
Same
right?
thing, yeah.
Interview
No
windows.
longer mute.
Yeah, between
Okay.
10 and 17 and
All right.
33 and 41.
While somebody was actively conducting business.
Yeah.
After you read this, guys, I'm going to have a video of what happened during my encounter with this lady. Stay tuned.
I don't want to stop your streaming, but I can't do my interview until you leave, and I gotta pick up my kid in 15 minutes.
Ma'am, I did not cause them to stop. If you want, I can show you where it's lawful that I can do this.
I don't mind you doing this.
Okay,
I have
they're,
things to do.
I know, it's not my fault. Tell them. It's not me, I promise. I'm here.
Well, they're stopping me because of you.
I know, but it's not my fault. They're doing this so that people start coming after me and that the people get pissed off at me, but it's not my fault that they're refusing you service. I am so sorry. Obviously, if I could stop it now, I would, but the Federal Protective Service is already on their way here, and I gotta be here now. I can't leave, or it looks like I'm running from the police. But I can't.
I have a child with special needs. I gotta pick them up at a certain time. I can't.
I understand. I understand. I'm sorry.
I just wanna get this done.
I can't leave now.
I have 15 minutes.
Ma'am, I would say tell them to take you back to the private room. Say you've got to go pick up your other child in 15 minutes. Say, hey, I need to go back to a private room. There's nothing stopping them from taking you back there.
I've been here since 12.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's been a long day for all of us then. Florida, Boston, UK.
Thanks for your help.
You have a great day, ma'am. I was approached by a man with a camera while sitting in a cubicle to served. This guy was standing behind me and had a camera zero in on me. The caseworker noticed first, which caused me to turn my head around and caught the dude filming me without my consent. I was uncomfortable, so I stood up to move out of the way of the camera. The caseworker also stood up and left the cubicle to report it. The cameraman then eventually moved on, as I was told be seat again pending a call to the police. I passed by the cameraman still filming and asked who was he. He said he's with the news. I couldn't communicate any longer with him as I am deaf, but I was not happy about that and felt violated after seeing the YouTube video of myself showing my backside while sitting down. Oh, it's not over yet. I don't speak sign language. I'm a journalist.
News purposes. I'm a journalist. I gather content for TV.
Looks like a thumbs up.
Every day.
I mean, he literally, like, if this is the
He's right
customer,
behind him.
he's like this.
Right over him?
Camera.
Okay. You get that?
And then, yeah, if you guys get the video footage, that would make it even easier and better.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as you can.
Oh, because we have it, that's right.
If you can reach out to them and get them to get us the
Yeah.
footage in question, that would be excellent.
So this is Officer Perkins, okay? This is going to be your case number 22, and it's going to be 013342.
Okay.
Do you write your email address on the back of it?
Oh, yeah.
That way, if they can get video, they can send it to your email.
Oh, she just exit?
Yeah.
Or she blocked in? The SUV? Are you unlocked or locked? I'll move it for you.
Like an inch.
Yeah.
Don't say it.
It's a police car, though. They don't want to hit no. They don't want to hit the police car. I don't blame them.
Perfect. Last G, I like that.
Hmm.
Recording muted.
Oh, there got busted, huh?
No longer muted.
I am conducting business right now.
Okay, so here it goes. This is the manager. The manager's gone ahead. She's giving you a trespass warning to leave the premise.
All right.
Okay.
If I don't leave, you're gonna arrest me.
That's correct.
Okay, cool. What was your name again?
Officer Jenkins.
Officer Perkins, 5203.
What was your name and badge number? Sorry, just say it again. Name and badge.
Officer Jenkins, 345.
Okay.
Officer Perkins, 5203.
Okay.
Officer Monreal, 4670.
Okay. What's the reason for the trespass?
So right now you're being criminal trespass, okay? What happened is they've told you to leave, right? This is public. The manager of the establishment has gone ahead. They told
They
you to
said
leave.
it's not public.
I said this is public, but the establishment has gone ahead. They told you to leave this place.
So you're gonna violate federal law.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying. So you're,
All right.
you're
How
gonna
about
do
this? If you don't like it, when you go to court, you can let them know.
No, I'll leave.
All right. No, we've already gone ahead. So let's go put this down.
No, you're not touching me.
Let's go put
I'm
this
leaving.
down.
I said I would leave. I'm leaving.
No. You were given it.
I said
Stop.
I'm leaving. No.
No, now that you're going to jail, you don't want to go.
No, I said
Come
I
on.
would leave. I said I was just getting your name, badge numbers, and I said you're gonna violate federal
That's
law. I
fine.
was leaving.
Turn around.
Come on, dude.
I've already given. Come on.
I said I would leave. Come on. Do not pull it out of my pocket, guys. Come on.
Well, I don't want to mess it up.
I'm looking at 41 Code of Federal Regulations, Appendix to Part 102-74, Rules and Regulations Governing Conduct on Federal Property. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security Federal Protective Service document that I'm reviewing cites 41 CFR 102-74.420, which deals with photographs for news, advertising, or commercial purposes, except where security regulations, rules, orders, or directives apply, or a federal court order or rule prohibits it. Persons entering in or on federal property may take photographs of space occupied by a tenant agency for non-commercial purposes, only with permission of the occupying agency concerned, space occupied by a tenant agency for commercial purposes only with the written permission of an authorized official of the occupying agency concerned, and building entrances, lobbies, foyers, corridors, or auditoriums for news purposes. It appears as though subparagraph C applies directly to recording or taking pictures of building entrances, lobbies, foyers, corridors, or auditoriums for news purposes.
So where the defendant videotape is a corridor that has multiple cubicle-like areas. So he stepped into an area where it's only for persons conducting business.
Right, Judge. I think the state's argument is that the locations where the defendant was taking video was no longer covered by that particular section. It wouldn't be a foyer, an entrance, or anything like that. That is where the defendant was intruding upon and recording. We have a video here that was uploaded by the defendant.
Can I see it, please?
Yes. And you can see
Is there any objection to the court watching the video? Okay.
And on that video, Judge, I mean, you can see multiple members of the who are sitting there speaking with Social Security administrators.
Let's take a look at the video with the sound, please. Okay.
Right, and I think at this point, he's already past the point of corridors, foyers.
Well, he was in a corridor. I think that we can stop it. I think that according to, here's my concern. And I hate that the people on the Zoom call can't see it, because I do think light is the greatest antiseptic to any alleged government overreach. I'm not sure of the purpose of the news channel, such as it is. Everyone has a podcast. Everyone has a YouTube channel. Everyone is now a citizen journalist. And I see Mr. Lewis acting as one as well. I didn't see him go into any areas where it said there were signs saying no public access beyond this point. Whenever he came up to one of those signs, he stopped. But I don't think that where his physical person was, he was trespassing in that place.
I think that comes later, Judge, when he's asked to leave.
Now, once he's asked to leave, the question becomes, did they have the authority to ask him to leave?
Right, Judge. And I think that goes back to whether or not he was allowed to record there. And so when we're talking about corridors, I think the spirit of the word corridor is an empty hall. Right? In this case, that's correct, that's a corridor, but it's not an actual corridor. That's a corridor where business is conducted.
Here's my concern from a probable cause standpoint. It is clear from the video that Mr. Lewis is testing the limits of the constitutional authority of citizens to observe their government in action. Would it have been better for his YouTube channel to say, look at all of these people in this lobby sitting and waiting to be seen by someone from Social Security, and look down this corridor at all of these empty desks where no one is working? That is, I think, of interest to the public, that it takes hours and hours and hours to get anything done. And it doesn't appear as though there's a whole lot of action going on. But there are people behind the glass who are apparently working. They're just not helping that we can see as citizens, customers.
Right, Judge.
That's newsworthy to me.
As well as there's a sign on there, Judge. So,
any of those signs, Mr. Serrano, prohibit him from recording? I'm not being intentionally daft or dense. I didn't see him pass any signs. And it looks like he can record building entrances. We saw him there. the lobby where everybody was kind of sitting. He could have sat out there and recorded all day. Foyers, he passed through that between the outside glass and the inside glass. Corridors.
Right, Judge. I think it's prohibiting his entrance into the building, so saying that he can't record it in general. That's my understanding.
Renee's referring to this sign on the outside of the building, which states that it's federal law and Social Security Administration policy, and that says you can't do it without express written consent. So the federal law that is referring to would be what we're looking at right here, that if you're doing things for commercial purposes, you got to have written consent. And then the exception to all this is, except otherwise a rule, an order, a directive, or whatever. It doesn't say anything about policy here. There's nothing in the rule that carves out an exception for First Amendment protection based on policy. It says rule, directive, court order, regulation.
I get it. Now I see where both sides are coming from. I think that the policy on the sign is in contradiction to the law on the books. And where the policy contradicts the law trumps. Title 41, Section 102-74.420 clearly gives a citizen the authority to record building entrances. Lobbies, I can't see how you would record a lobby without walking in it. Foyers, corridors, and auditoriums, and the memorandum of policy and procedure states, hey, we know folks are now coming in to do this. Let them do it. Let them do it. It is uncomfortable, but it is permitted. Here's our problems, Mr. Serrato, me and you specifically. We're both rules followers.
Right.
You're a Navy guy, Army guy, Air Force brat. I was raised to follow rules. And that makes us good at bending to the will of authority that sometimes other people don't feel like they need to bend to, and they test the limits. where the policy contradicts the law trumps. The memorandum of policy and procedure states, hey, we know folks are now coming in to do this. Let them do it. Let them do it. It is uncomfortable, but it is permitted.